Teenies new and old to the first ever episode of Wits and Crits, a roundtable style Q&A podcast hosted by me, your resident dice goblin, and vanilla guard boy loving ship gremlin. It's Hayden. Hi. You might know me. You might love me. I don't know. We'll find out. So for those of you who are just finding us for the first time, hello! We are Nat 19. We're a group of actors, performers, and improvisers who've all come together through our love of storytelling and mutual nerdery. Today on the show, I have Braden Alexander, also known as Bread Brederson, and Matthew Koch, who is also known as Izzy, Frisbee, Izboy, Izbiz.
Frisbee!
The Sizzler, if you're feeling
The
fancy.
Sizzler.
Ooh!
How are you guys doing today? How we be?
Doing pretty good. Well,
Fantastic.
nervous. We're
Yeah.
in, like, the premiere. It's an honor.
It feels so shiny and new.
It is so shiny and new. And a little shout out before we get started here. All of our beautiful art, our backdrop, as well as these wonderful sprites are done by my wonderful artist friend Kiyoshuki. Her
Woo!
links will be down in the description below, as well as in the comments. So thank you guys so much, and thank you, Kiyo, for your wonderful work. We really appreciate it. All of the outfits are designed on little bits of our D&D characters, or little bits
Just
of
a
our
little
own
bit.
personality. Just a little bit.
Teeny bit.
So
a little bit.
I can comment or
Comment down below.
comment and
Ooh.
tweet at us
Do
and
it.
see and find all the little hints of whose outfits we're wearing. Who are you wearing today?
Ooh.
Ooh,
Only the finest fashions of Celberon Couture.
ooh, I like that. Is that Fenny's future? Is she gonna be a
Yeah,
fashion
Fenny.
designer?
Instead of Coco Chanel, it's Fufu Chanel. Fufu Celberon.
Brilliant.
Oh, I love that. Forget being a cleric of Tequin / the Pale Lady. She's gonna be a fashion designer instead.
Yes. Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
I feel like that's a much safer
I
career
feel like
path.
Fenris would have a thing to say about that, but I, Braden, am more than happy. I'm down.
I'm curious what Fenris would have to say about that. We are going to be getting into questions here, so...
Oh. You didn't say there would be questions.
That's what Q&A is question answer, is he?
Oh, I came for the
Guys.
crits!
Well, we're going to hit with some critical hit questions! Okay, yeah. Anyway, enough of that. So, how this is going to work is we have questions from fans as well as ones that I have written. So we have some general questions as well as questions for all of us as individuals. So usually I will be hosting the podcast, but for this one I will be a participant. So there will be questions for any of my characters, any of Izzy's characters, and any of Braden's characters. And how that's going to work is I have a sexy little D4 here that I poured on. Will be general questions, a 1 for Braden, a 2 for Izzy, and a 3 for me. And then we might have some midway through the podcast, maybe. We'll see if I forget. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a little bit after. We'll find out. But, ooh. So, I'm gonna roll this smexy little D4. It's a little caltrop, so I'm probably gonna stab myself, but...
Be careful.
Ooh, it's a 3! I'm gonna re-roll that, because I don't feel like I should start off with questions for me! It's a 3 again. Alright.
Well, the dice.
Dice.
are spoken.
Nice. Alright, it's 2 for Izzy!
Frisbee!
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
put me in
first
touch.
question in Wits and Crits history will be...
For Flux. Flux has just learned that Diana is basically sending his people out to die fighting the party. Could Flux...
Yeah, I think he's feeling a lot of dark thoughts, like, mostly about himself, but
Oh.
there's definitely some dark thoughts about Diane. He is very confused right now. Like, got a little bit of that the last time I was in game, but yeah, he's very much like he's a little bit nostalgic for when he didn't think of himself as a person, because that was like it was easier. It was like a cop out. It was like, yeah, is free will all that great? Like, it doesn't seem that great right now.
I don't know if this is all it's chalked up to be.
Yeah, definitely not a good feeling, but yeah, as someone who is just kind of getting started with these types of emotions and a sense of self, it's very much like, I want to go back.
Put me back, coach. Bench me.
Put me back in my safe bubble.
I'm not built for out there.
I was literally built for out there, but I don't want to be.
I want to go back.
My programming.
Is it just, like, nostalgic for when he, like, thought of himself as just, like, a tool, or is it, like, nostalgic for his time with his master, or just the before times in general?
Yeah, I definitely think his before times with, like, his master definitely bleed into why he views that as a positive experience. Like, it would probably be very different if his master was someone who treated him like garbage, but his master always treated him very, very well, and just kind of gave him the space to find himself, and didn't really push him, just treated him kindly and like a person.
Does he, like, I guess this isn't, like, future planning or whatever, but, like, with his, like, feeling kind of nostalgic for the before times, and with everything that he's, like, learned in the Cauldron, is, like, does he want to go back to his master, since, like, this was, like, her life's work, and, like, bring all this info to her, or is, like, that changed since we got here?
Oh, for sure. Like, do you mean, like, go back to his master, like, in a permanent sense, or just, like, going to see her?
Going to see her and, like, share what he's learned in the Cauldron, even though we've been explicitly told not to say anything.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's maybe taking that as a little bit more of a suggestion than he should, because he's only here to fulfill his master's life's work, so he's taking copious notes, and he is going to give that notebook to her the second he has a chance.
Dang.
That's fair, and I can't say, as, like, in Avi brain, that it's like, no, I'll probably tell the guard boy. Who's he gonna fucking tell?
Right?
Yeah.
Especially, so, like, he trusts his master.
You?
Like,
Yeah.
Go on.
he doesn't think
Tell
his
them
master
a horse.
is...
Tell him a horse drove a mech. No one will believe you, guard boy. Oh, jeez.
He trusts his master. Like, if that notebook was full of information that would be, like, disastrous if he got out, he knows that his master isn't just gonna, like, well, time to tell everybody.
Start the presses.
Yeah. But fucking sorry about Diane. Yeah, I don't think he's definitely not a fan of her right now. He is her fucking Diane is definitely putting him in the most awkward, like, ethical dilemma of his life. Is like, are we on the right side here? Like, Diane is definitely bad, but, like, she's working with the frame built who part of what they want is reasonable, but what they're willing to do to get it is definitely not. But I definitely don't want to kill them, but they're also, like, not willing to talk. They're so willing to just die for their cause before we can have, like, just a sit-down conversation, and it's all so bad. There's so much sap on my hands.
Yeah. Oil, sap, I don't know, tree juice.
Frame built
Rock dust?
goo.
They're rock golems?
They're, like,
There's
earth.
some rock in there.
There's
Some rock, wood, metal.
the situation
Shrapnel?
is rocky.
Shrapnel in general?
It's very bad. It's
So tough feelings.
yeah, a lot of very tough feelings. He had to fly away and think about some stuff for a while. Oh, but yeah, he is not the biggest fan of Diane. Like, he was already, like, super distrustful of her when they were talking to her hologram. But yeah, it is definitely, it's fermenting into, like, I think I might hate you. I think I'm learning what hatred is.
This is technically another question that I had for you, but since we're on the topic, I might as well ask it. So, like, you're mentioning, it's like, I might hate you. With everything that Diane, like, said to Flux, being like, hey, if you come to me, I can tell you everything. I can give you all the information on you. Was Flux ever, like, tempted to follow her? Or, like, is he tempted at all? Not, like, follow her as in, like, yes, ma'am, I'll follow you to the ends of the earth, like, family style. But was he ever tempted to go seek her out for that information?
I don't think he seriously considered it, but I think he, like, acknowledged that, like, some part of him wanted to, and he definitely didn't feel good about that. He, up until that point, figured that, like, no matter what Diane said, he would be like, no, I have no interest, get lost. But when she said that, there was, like, part of him that was like, but what if we did go? Like, she knows stuff. There might not be a better way to learn those things. Like, this could be my only shot.
Mm-hmm.
And just really examining that, it's like, oh, I don't like that I'm thinking about that. Like, I'm not, why is that in there? Why is that in the mix? Why are emotions complicated? Why do people want multiple things?
That sucks and it's hard.
I hate this. I think that also contributes to him feeling nostalgic about being a tool. Because it's like, maybe I shouldn't be trusted with emotions and wanting things. Because what if I want the wrong things?
But that's so part of being alive.
That's so
Absolutely.
subjective as well.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. He's definitely looking at, like,
Flux.
he's looking at these, like, very human emotions and feeling like, I'm the only one who feels like this. I'm the only one who, like, is ever conflicted about the things I want. I'm
I
a
want to
monster.
go on the record and say that this is why Fenris was very concerned for him during the party split. It was like,
Oh,
to
no.
Miriam, please take care of him. Well, because emotions are so complex, and Flux is someone who needs to unpack them with someone.
For sure. Like, he is, like, he's only been conscious for, like, the last, like, less than 10 years, I think. Like, he's, like, 7 or something.
Yeah.
Boy.
Like, he's only, years old, but he's still young, all things considered.
Yeah. He doesn't get to
Yeah, his
benefit from, like,
consciousness.
those thousands of years of experience because he doesn't
No.
currently remember any of it.
Those are just being dropped on him.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you did all of this shit, and also you're, like, a navigator? Figure that out. It's like, can I go to
I don't
kindergarten
wanna.
first? Can I just start slow? This is a lot.
I want nappies and apple juice.
Right? That sounds delightful.
I don't know. As a 24-year-old who could go for some apple juice and naps, I don't think it's ever going to get easier for Flux.
Nah.
Oh no, don't tell him
Someone's
that.
got to break it to him.
He needs hope.
You're gonna want kindergarten every day.
That feeling never goes away.
That does not go away, kid.
Hey, by the way, it's gonna suck forever.
What?
And speaking of
Yeah.
forever, I don't know. I had a segue there, and then I realized I had to roll a die. So
Time to roll a D4.
time to roll a d4.
Forever.
Forever. Woo! Okay, it's
forever.
a 2 again. Wah.
Reroll that.
It's a 4, which means it's for all of us, which means I'm gonna
Ooh.
roll a d12. Let me root around here in
Ooh.
dice that I need to sand. Wah! Alright, that's a 1. So I'm gonna start at the top of our questions then. So for all of us, now that you're finally free, what are your final thoughts on the nature of Honokuni? We're going back a little bit here, but some of these are throwback questions from when we were still doing Chat 19. So these are some questions that we didn't get to when you and I, Izzy, were supposed to do a Chat 19. So I've pulled some of
Yeah.
those. So now that we're finally
Fabulous.
free, what are our final thoughts, our favorite thoughts?
Not many. Not
Yeah,
many
right.
favorites.
I don't have any favorites. Final thoughts on the nature of Honokuni. So Brayden, you can start us off.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Honokuni kind of felt like a giant, endless hole that if we had stayed there longer, just things would have fallen apart. And it's just one of those places that brings out the worst in people.
Mm-hmm.
Takeaways my character had, I mean, I think Fenris definitely thinks time is more valuable. Ironic, like, literally. And, in the sense of knowing what time it is. because she couldn't the whole time she was in Honokuni.
Going insane. That's what the real insanity was for her. It was not knowing what time it was.
Yeah, I mean, she turned out not to be crazy, so that whole situation kind of just emboldened Fenris to trust her instincts more.
Mm-hmm.
But also to try to be more, because Fenris is a pretty internal character, to try to be more external about certain things. And, it was just, Honokuni was crazy. It was the antithesis of everything Fenris doesn't want to be around. I think that's an answer.
Yeah, no, it is. Heckin', I think that makes perfect sense. I know Avi's feeling some kind of way, but I want to get y'all chatting first. So how's
Sorry.
No, you're good. Heckin', how was Flux's experience with Honokuni? What's his opinion on the Domain of Dread?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think Honokuni hit Flux as hard as the others, because, like, a lot of why it sucked is, like, not being able to taste anything, which he already couldn't do that. It was like, basically no change in a lot of respects. So it was mostly a lot of, like, I don't like this place because it's making my friends miserable and yell at each other all the time, and everything's gray. Just a bad time. And also, I may be losing my mind, which, you know, is not great. Not being able to trust your own thoughts is,
A whole
not
time.
not something that I think anyone likes.
And I can't
Flux.
imagine Nemric being like, I like Crazy Flux more, was very fucking helpful.
Flux straight up didn't understand it whenever he said it. It's like, what do you mean? Like, you keep talking like there's two of me? Like, what's that about?
Was I cloned and didn't know?
Like, you guys would tell me if I had a clone, right?
Flux
No.
going a little kooky was probably one of my favorite roleplay arcs
Yeah.
that you had in Honokuni, Izzy.
I love long-term madness so much, because it's just like a fun improv prompt.
Yeah.
You get the chance to do something wild
Yeah.
that isn't like a permanent commitment.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I really liked playing the contrast to your madness a little bit, because a lot of what you were doing was very comical, and then Fenris was kind of having a very bad time.
Fenris's very bad day.
Two very
yeah,
different
that's kind of what
flavors.
Honokuni was. Fenris's very long day.
Yeah, the only, like, Avi did get a madness. It was, she dreamt of eating her friends, which was not great for her self-image.
Gave me
No.
Curse of Straw Devon eating the squirrel energy.
Ooh, from everything I learned of that, yeah.
Well, she ended up actually eating a squirrel. Luckily, Aviana hasn't eaten any of her friends recently.
As far as we know.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know her
Nope.
past.
No comment.
Is that like a recurring fear that like Avi has? Like, does she think that like her like kind of yokai nature might like take control at some point? Is that like a lingering fear?
Absolutely. Being in Honokuni especially, like, Avi is already kind of, like, she's said as much to, I believe her words when she was talking to Rory were along the lines of, it's like, I'm scared, like, when she was talking about her mom, it's like, I'm scared of what she is and what that means that I am. Avi's always been scared of herself. Like, she thinks that she is a monster and looks like a monster. She's like, I might be a half demon, but I am a monstrous demon through and through. And that's also what people expect. And after being in Honokuni, and especially after the madness vision of, cool, you are enjoying... Listen here, Slack, I need you to be quiet. But anyway. After that vision in Honokuni, and just the image of eating her friends, it kind of solidified, and like enjoying it, it solidified that fear a lot. And then with Honokuni feeling so familiar to her, like to just her being, and it feeling so natural to be there, she's terrified.
Fuck. I really hope Avi and Raleigh get the chance to talk one day, because I feel like they have some very similar fears about themselves.
I am so curious for the day that Avi and Raleigh get to meet, because as far as I know, if I'm remembering all the info she's gotten, she's not heard a good thing about this boy.
Not really. Like, every time his name comes up, it's like, oh yeah, that civil war was caused by Raleigh.
It's like,
Now hold on.
Okay.
Fenris is like, he's okay. He's just also a big fat liar sometimes,
Yeah.
and you know, he will fuck around, and he will find out, I guess. So
Avi's
that's
like,
Raleigh.
lying is my brand. Fight me, vamp boy.
It's like, hey, you can have that. I am trying to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah,
Still the
You
same.
have at it.
yeah, I trust you. Bitch.
Oh, that's not a good call.
You ever heard of sarcasm?
I have. What?
Never mind.
So Honokuni.
So Honokuni.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted, though. But yeah, so Honokuni sucked for everyone. Final thoughts on it, on Avi's side? She still feels like she belonged there, and that she shouldn't have been able to leave. Yeah.
Avi.
That's rough. That's real rough.
Jail.
I mean, she's been there. She's familiar.
Again.
Back to jail for like the 10,000th time.
Oh no. You deserve happiness.
She doesn't believe that, no matter what Taguchi says.
Avi!
Listen,
I'm
she's
about to go
trying.
I'm gonna get my crock and knock some sense into this kid.
Follow your own advice, god damn it.
No. Hypocrite till
though.
I die.
No.
Straw.
Caca, I'm a roll of dice. Woo! Okay, it's a tree. It's for me, I'll do it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Alright, I'm roll another d4, because I have 4 questions here. Womp. Alright,
I
4.
see dice. Keeping the best for last.
Yeah, probably. Dear edgy rogue
Don't
with a
agree
heart
with
of
me.
gold and feathers of night. What is the first thing Aviana will send to Rory after everyone is out of Honokuni? Well, I'm gonna change that to out of the cauldron. I clearly did
Yeah!
not. It's been a sec because I can't talk to the boof just yet. The boyf.
The beefaroni.
I've definitely like thought about it a little bit. I'm trying not to like think too hard about it. Probably just like, hey, don't know if you're still like waiting for me, but if so, I love you and I miss you. Bye. Just like probably like I can't imagine like in her mind he's probably not waiting anymore. It's like yes, he's been the most unconditional person in her life and has been there through everything that she's ever put him through. But in her mind, it's been so much longer, even though as much time hasn't passed out here. It's like, why would he wait?
Mhm.
It goes back to her not feeling great after Honokuni. It's like, why would someone like him wait for me? Like, I've been nothing but a thorn in his side, even though, you know, it has been stated the opposite, but tell that to the bird.
That boy needs a thorn.
Yeah, honestly.
It's a weird thought.
Right? It's weird, but it's true, though. He needs a
He's
little...
better for it.
He needs to spice up your life. He needs some Spice Girls in his life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that question. Heckin' D4! Ooh, it's for Bradley Boo!
Ooh.
Ah!
It's
could
But
imagine.
Brayden, all right,
I'm
going
ready.
to roll a d4 again. Yeah.
Ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Ooh, it's the question I hoped it would be.
Oh no.
Thank you, D4. You're on my side right now. Fenris and Aviana have since patched things up. How does Fenris now view their friendship? Told her about her relationship with Tantia.
Okay.
Give me the juice.
Okay. Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Fun question. Love that. Love that for us. Okay. Okay. So, obviously, after any fight, a friendship is going to change, even just a little bit. I think Fenris, for one, never expected Aviana to ever apologize, and was kind of planning to be like, so neither of us are sorry, and I think that's cool. But then Aviana apologized, and so Fenris kind of was shocked, like taken aback, and got a lot of respect for Aviana, because the only reason Fenris figured that she wouldn't apologize is because in Fenris's mind, Aviana didn't really do anything wrong. It's more like feathers were ruffled and they, like, kerfuffled.
Meh. Bird joke.
And
Marker
so-
bingos. Anyway.
And so, like, Aviana didn't need to really apologize for that, but even just addressing it and being like, hey, this happened, but here's how I feel, would have been fine. But the fact that Aviana was able to apologize for her anger and, like, her approach, I mean, I think it showed Fenris that Aviana has a lot more insight into her own anger than Fenris thought she did.
She's pretty on the money there. Because that's very
Yeah.
true. But yeah, heckin', you know.
Outside of that, I think Fenris learned that heckin' Avi kinda is also very sensitive, because Fenris only pushed back because in that moment she felt like she was right. And the fact that Aviana felt and became isolated from the group, Fenris is like, okay, I have to do a different strategy next time I tackle Aviana if we clash. Also, Fenris didn't know Aviana loved Tantia.
Yeah.
That's all.
You know, it's just good.
That's all on that.
Scary feel. Yeah, that's all. Damn,
Yeah.
no tea.
I
I'm
mean-
fucking with you.
I think Fenris is just, like, shook because, you know, she feels that way too. And so she's like, oh, you loved her, huh? Alright. Game recognizes game.
Yep. Except Avi has no game. She ran. She's like, my feelings are scary.
The difference is Fenris would run, but Tanji already told her that she'd follow her, so it wouldn't matter. And I think so Fenris is like shocked that Avi feels that way, but still feels secure with Tantia.
Mm-hmm. I can't.
But also, like, thinks about the closure between them. She's like,
Yeah, they got closure, but I won't say that Tantia saying that she would chase Fenris down and the fact that she didn't chase Avi, I won't say that doesn't hurt, like, a little bit. Even though, like, Avi's like, I'm with the person, and I'm with the person that, like, I love, and they're kind of, like, the love of my life, but, you know, it still stings a little bit.
Fenris is like, I'm
Damn.
trying to do what you did, fam.
Ha!
I'm trying to run. She keeps catching up with me.
Yeah, she does that. At least I think.
It's very fast.
Just Speedy Atantia.
Punch
Vario
Girl
the
Supreme.
Hedgehog.
But I think that
Nice.
encompasses all the questions that were there.
Yeah. Hell yeah, baby.
Wow, that was spicy.
That was very spicy. D4 of
My
truth.
high tea.
Ooh, we got a 4, so it's for all of us, which means Roll the d12. Yeah, it's falling on me. Roll again. All right, you can't roll ones every time. All right, 12.
There are other numbers. There are other numbers between 1 and 12. Sorry. Thought this was D&D for a minute. Okay, ask your question.
mean, you know what? I don't want to ask that
Jason.
question just yet. I'm gonna pick a different one. All right.
Oh, shit.
That's ominous.
If time wasn't a factor and you had free roam of the cauldron, other than the obvious giant robots, are there any other aspects of the setting that your character would like to explore?
I mean, mostly the giant robots, honestly.
Honestly, that's super fair.
Yeah.
That's kind of your whole thing.
Yeah, I'm very curious about the giant robots and the underground vaults and such.
I mean, talk about it anyway. Expand upon that. I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Flux just, like, would really love, like, you know, if it wasn't of... If there weren't, you know, potentially dire consequences to trying to find those answers, if he had infinite time to just explore and figure out the entire history of the frame build, he would be so about that. He'd be
Hell
so
yeah.
at peace. He'd spend thousands of years just doing that and be totally happy. But alas, it might cause the apocalypse, and that just seems like a bad call.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. Maybe worth it? Maybe?
Question
We
mark?
might learn some cool stuff. Eh?
Hmm?
Eh.
No.
How about you guys?
Brandon.
I would like to think Fenris, if she had the unlimited time, would like to take the entire tourist experience of Pesadromos and the cauldron in its whole. Just because, like, the cuisine, the architecture, all of the
Fish.
temples, yeah, all the fish, all the good stuff, you know, hike, just the wilderness,
Like
Of course you
backpacking
would
across Europe?
energy, finding all the Greek cats and petting them.
That sounds
the
amazing.
The grats, if you will.
The grats.
But yeah, I think that would be something, because Fenris only knows so much about food. She only was really taught how to make stew, and she's seen people make pastries, like baked goods before, and like coffee cake and stuff like that isn't rocket science, but she doesn't know cuisine.
She wants to take like a Pesadromos cooking class.
A little bit, yeah. Why
That would
not?
be wonderful.
That would
she wants
actually be
to-
really cute.
She wants to learn how to be better at everything she does, especially the things that she does for the party.
It's very sweet.
Hell yeah.
I'd love for Fenris to be able to go to culinary school.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. Heckin', I think y'all are gonna yell at me, but I'm like the
Oh, I'm
obvi in my
prepared.
brain. Well, I'll give you the tame one first. Is Fenris was like, "Oh, do you do tattoos here?" And Avi's like, "Ooh, gemstone tattoo." So Avi's still like, "I would like to do that. I want to do that." That would
We
be
do
cool.
need to do that.
Yes.
If we don't have to leave, we are doing that.
If we don't have to leave right away, we have to.
Well, I also have to. I have another thing, but that's beside that. Ooh.
Ooh. The
Good
thing you'll
stuff.
yell at me about is, I want to go into the mid-spiral. I just wanna...
You know, if you have
Bird
unlimited
dive
time,
bomb.
hell yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
it's so dangerous, don't go there. So Avi's like, okay, but you told me not to do something, and now I want to do it.
You
I
know
wanna go
that's
on
where
that
this
trip.
is headed. Like,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
spend so much time telling us, don't go in the mid-spiral, you'll die. It's like,
And we're like, oh, well, I guess that's where we have to go,
Yeah.
isn't it?
That's where the final boss is, I think.
That's where the secret boss of, I almost said Honokuni, of the cauldron is.
There's something above the fucking Sword of Damocles, the secret boss that's like impossible to fight. Gotta grind up to level 20 before we're prepared for it.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
But what was your other thing that it sparked, Brayden? I'm curious now.
Huh?
Oh, I was I was talking about the tattoos and having unlimited time, and you're like, oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
If you don't remember, it's fine.
I don't remember.
That's fine. It'll come to you after we finish the recording.
Yeah, probably. Very likely. Typical bread action.
I mean, I feel that, and then you remember at like 2 a.m. and it's a whole thing.
Right.
Yep.
D4
I'll send you a voice message.
Yeah, please do. All right, D4 of truth. Ooh, number 1 for Bradley Boo.
Again!
Again! Freaking again! Meow.
Again!
Ooh, I've been waiting to ask this question for like weeks. All y'all's questions are juice to me, and I love it, because also flustering Bread with questions is really fun. Because I get that. For Fenris. In the past, you mentioned that Fenris slept with Miriam to get him off her back. Could there have been something more between you two? And was there more to wanting to get him off your back?
I think it worked the way that Fenris expected it to, which is they were intimate and then he stopped pursuing her after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she met Tantia, which is just, forget about it. But I think if Miriam had pursued it, I think there could have at least been an entanglement of sorts. Because Fenris would have tried really hard not to... Because it's complicated in a party. And it was a little bit... It's also, putting the money where the mouth is situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You talk a big game. Let's see it. And so... It happened! So it was also, confronting it the Fenris way.
Taking the Hattislin by the horns, if you will.
Yeah, because yes, of course, she did want to sleep with him, and so it was like killing multiple birds with a stone. She was attracted to him. Her wanting those compliments to mean more than just, flirtations.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, if I'm intimate with him now and he doesn't pursue me afterwards, I know what he was after.
Just solidifying her suspicions, basically.
Yeah, and kind of getting it over with before she has any emotions. She kind of broke her own heart before he could. Well, not even broke her own heart. She didn't have those hard feelings yet, but and I think a little bit as time went on, Fenris was never there when Emma was mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as time went on, she just knew he was actively in love with someone.
She could kind of sense it.
When you know someone for a long time, and you see, how they flirt consistently, and, the fact that they both used it as a band-aid. And in that sense, she recognizes using it as a band-aid. Being intimate with someone like that.
Damn.
And so, who are you doing that band-aid for? Who are you missing? What isn't there?
What's missing for you?
You can kind of sense yearning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
I think there could have been, maybe. I don't know. It would have been interesting to see. I would have made it hard for Aaron.
Good.
Yeah. That's the most fun.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Next question.
No, I caught it. Anyway. D4 of truth. Fluster Brayden more. Ooh, it's a 3.
Ooh.
Ooh. All right, D4 of truth. Tell me what questions I'm asking myself? Question mark. Ooh, 3. Oh, I don't know if I want to answer that question. That
Do
question
it. You're
scares
hey,
me.
hey.
The die is spoken.
No, I put the question on here. I did this to myself. Oh, I'm tempted to throw it in the Discord chat. Be like, one of you guys read this to me. Because,
I'll read it.
Oh,
I'll do it, please.
See, yeah.
After what you just did to me.
All right, cool. Let me throw it in.
Fair enough.
Give it.
Wits and crits.
Wits and crits.
There you
Please
go.
and thank you.
It's
All right.
in there.
Ooh, it is good.
I know.
Would Avi ever consider starting a family with Rory? Or would she be scared by the idea?
Would you ask
How
it like
would
this?
her own religion...
Mama trauma!
So, has she ever considered starting a relationship? I mean, not a relationship, a family.
I mean, she definitely
Hell
had
yeah.
considered starting a relationship with Rory, and then that happened. She didn't expect that to fucking happen.
Okay,
It's like,
okay.
whoop,
The
he
real
kissed my
answer.
face. The real I'm dodging the question, don't you
I
see?
know
I'm
you
pulling
are.
an off here.
gonna
I
let
put
you.
it on here!
Say it!
So,
Family!
would she consider starting a family with Rory? I don't think she's quite gotten to thinking about that with Rory, because she would never be too afraid to broach the subject of even proposal or anything. I think that's a little too much for her, and she's a little scared by it.
So you would say she's scared of, like, proposing it, but is she scared of the idea of having a family with him?
I don't think she's scared of the idea of having a family with him. She's always been more scared of the repercussions for him of even just, like, being her friend.
Yeah.
Because of how much respect it loses him. Like, Stratus, the captain of the Iron Watch, does not have any respect for him. Like, she sees him as pretty pitiful, from my understanding, and from, like, y'all's interaction with her. I'm like, I wasn't there, I was doing crime. But I don't think she's quite gotten to the point of thinking about, yeah, that's something that we could have. She'd be more scared of the repercussions, and I don't think she believes she would be a good mother. Like,
Is that because of, like, Hathayura's negligence towards Aviana?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
scared that's, like...
Hereditary.
Oh,
it's-
no.
That is a scary thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's scared that she will follow those patterns even unintentionally. I mean, it's a similar thought that, like, a lot of people who I've talked to who have had kids, and as someone who eventually wants to have little rugrats running around, it's a very real thing. It's a very scary thing. It's like, am I gonna repeat the patterns that hurt me? And Aviana, the last thing she wants is to have more kids turn out like she did. Would she
Right,
want to create a
so-
loving environment? Yes. Is she afraid that
Do you
she wouldn't
think
be able
she would
to?
be-
Yeah.
Do you think she'd be a helicopter parent?
Yeah, I think so. I think she would probably fall back on some Roryisms.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like, tell me
Yo.
I'm wrong.
Avi looking in the mirror and being like, fuck, I'm becoming Rory. I can't do this.
Oh no.
I gotta... Just, like, has the hands on her hips, like, hey, you can't be playing inside. If you're gonna play, go outside. Looks in the mirror, sees, like, the hands on the hips. Ugh.
Fuck, no.
Is that a blonde hair?
She's
No.
not even going gray, she's going blonde.
Well, you know, it's so funny you say that, because gingers actually go blonde before they go gray.
That's true. But she's
Interesting.
not a ginger.
Well,
You're just gonna
I
go
don't know.
blonde.
Oh, Avi, I pray for you.
Yeah.
I pray for you, Avi.
But, you know, I think she's mentioned that she wants to, like, settle down at some point with him. Like, she said as much. She's like, no, I'm fucking tired, man. I want to see how this goes. And who knows what she wrote in those letters that she sent him. Who knows? I've
Ooh.
never revealed it.
Oh my god, that's right, you sent letters.
I did.
Oh my.
I'll show you guys. It's fine.
Ah! We get exclusives.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna ask some more group questions.
Oh.
So I'm gonna roll a d12, and then I have a question game for you.
Ooh.
Huh.
What have been some of your favorite roleplay moments with another party member?
Ooh.
One of you go. Go ahead.
Frisbee.
Oh no, I'm just trying to.
If you
think
need
back,
time to
'cause
think,
we've been playing a long time.
Yeah, heckin'. If you need time to think, I did note one down for myself.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go for it.
To give you guys a sec to think. Honestly, the first thing that came to mind when I saw this question was talking to Flux after Aviana died fighting the Durgar. They were Durgar? Yeah, they were. Fighting the Durgar after Aviana died, and then talking to Flux about her mom. And him being like, do you think she wants to become the god of death? Conversation was so interesting and has definitely stuck some things in Avi's mind of did she care about somebody and why wasn't I it? Did she care about the person who was sending her the fucking Bloodhive Blossom tea? That conversation with Flux has stuck with her and has definitely affected some of her outlooks on herself, kind of negatively, but has also affected some of her outlooks on her mom. And I think it's interesting having conversations like that about her mom from people who don't have a biased opinion, because it kind of sparks a mental conversation. It sparks different ideas in her mind of who really was this woman. I really didn't know her after all.
Yeah, like how your mom kind of appears to other people through different lenses.
Yeah, it's who was she to other people? Because I know who she was to me. So I loved that conversation, and I love Avi and Flux moments. I really do, because they come at life so differently that we always end up with very interesting outlooks and very interesting conversations.
Yeah, they're such specific people.
Mm-hmm.
Very different life experiences.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. It's always a really good time. Some fascinating topics.
So about y'all, any moments that you're like, yeah, that was really cool? And it doesn't have to be your most top favorite thing. It's just one of your favorites.
Tasha's most recent character, Gale.
Yeah.
And through talking to Gale, Fenris got a lot of insight into someone who is further along in their life than she is, which is different than talking to other party members and stuff like that. And so that was a really fun conversation. Definitely
Yeah.
changed her perspective about a lot of stuff.
Cool. Oh, it's not from this campaign, but I keep thinking it was a lot of fun way back in Fate when when Ian and Diane went to the concert.
Oh,
And the
hell
roleplay
yeah.
shenanigans that ensued from that. Just how off the rails that went. Oh,
That's a favorite. Just wondering.
yeah, why?
That was it. I just was so young at the time. I know it was I was so new into role playing and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you were doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From everything I've heard, it was a good time.
Yeah.
I don't go to Fate.
We had to get there first. Pick our seats.
It's so good.
Incredible.
I'm so taken aback, but is that a funny thing to say? Y'all are dying. I legitimately meant that.
Those are some of the most comedic moments, is when you're so earnest. I don't mean just you, I just
genuine.
mean when someone is just so genuine about a question that it takes you off guard.
Right?
Oh, you know what was another great roleplay
Yeah,
moment?
tell me words.
Vogan, give me the teeth. That is no.
Give me
I
the
will go
teeth.
on record. I will
Give
go
me
on
your
record
teeth.
saying that is probably one of my favorite roleplay moments. Roleplay a lot with. So it was really fun getting to play off of him in that scene, but also just the hilarity and the ridiculousness.
Right?
like-
Like, are you gonna give him back? This is my
No,
teeth.
like I'm merely it was just so awkward in two so different ways.
Mhm.
It was just beauty.
So funny.
so
'Cause, like,
awkward.
I can't remember. Like,
So
the
brilliant.
spell didn't even like burn the teeth, right? Like,
No,
it
it
was-
I
doesn't.
just took
Yeah.
care of them.
So it was like it's not even like they were being destroyed. Just let me hold them for a minute.
It was very much like taking a toy away from a dog.
Yeah.
A little bit. Like, I'm gonna give it back. Hey, let go.
Bogan, drop it.
Drop
Bogan.
that. What
Hey,
do you have in your mouth?
look at me. Hey.
Open your mouth.
Spit it out.
Give me your teeth. Blech.
Queef
I am-
them, Fogan.
I'm sad I did not get a shark tooth from Gail.
Oh,
But that's
Do you
okay.
think she would have been offended by that?
That's why I didn't ask. I didn't want another fish people fiasco.
Do you have ears?
They don't have outer ears was the point. Yes, of course they have inner ears, but that's
you
not.
just asked, do you have ears?
No, I said you don't have ears, which, in the sense of an outer ear. Ugh.
Oh, silly.
That 7 in charisma was really
It was putting in work.
Yeah.
peak. I think
Some
that's
heavy
just
lifting.
after I had died too, so I'm
Yeah,
sure
true. So it had gone down.
from 8 back to 7.
I feel you in that dropping charisma gang.
Oof.
I would rather drop charisma than anything else.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
knock on
Same.
wood, drop charisma than my dex. Please no.
I'm not even gonna put that in the universe.
Too late. It's already in the universe from me. Let's see. Let's see how this
Oh,
fucking
boy.
goes.
No.
Anyway.
No, take it back.
Next question.
Speaking of losing things, what's your opinion on him?
What?
He?
You know him. The man who melts ice. The women want him. The men want him. The Rolex with a diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, the then wheeling and dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, marry him.
Ah, that.
So
him,
it's
of
that.
course,
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. I'm surprised you didn't know.
You're right. You're so foolish. Of
He's
me.
him, as the kids say.
I should have heard the capital H there.
Yeah,
Mm.
Come on, Isby. Come on.
Mm-hmm. I know. I gotta step it up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get it together, man. So Miriam, what is your opinion on his new human form? Do you prefer his old form? Do you miss anything about his previous form? What is your opinions on his What are your opinions on his
stamp.
transformation?
Oh.
On his tramp stamp. Fenris, you've seen that, right? What are your opinions on his transformation into a human? I'm gonna ask y'all first because I have a link sheets.
Is this our opinions or our characters' opinions?
Both.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I think Flux is pretty indifferent to it. Like, he doesn't have much of a sense of aesthetic, and, like, as long as Miriam seems happy, he's like, cool. It doesn't really seem like a hugely relevant change to him.
Oh, he's so hot.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Always
Yeah,
has
a
been
little
hot.
Yeah.
always has been. Everything that happened was amazing. Obviously, Shadow.
Oh
Storm.
yeah.
Holy cow!
God, I am right there in this very, very similar feelings. Like, for me, I think it was a beautifully crafted sequence. I think everyone's like roleplay choices and everything, I think it was just beautiful. I was crying like a baby, both in and out of character. It was just like the whole time. But I think in terms of like storytelling, incredible. So good and juicy.
I will add,
Yeah.
Fenris the whole time is like, if anyone's gonna live through this, it's going to be Miriam.
Oh yeah.
That was the only thing keeping her on her feet.
He's
that
a stubborn
entire
son
time.
of a bitch.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah.
He's the epitome of
100%.
fuck around and find out. Miriam is very special to her. And he's one of the few people who's like seen through her since they met and just sees her and can see like all of her little parts and little pieces of like what's behind the anger and will call her on it. So she feels very seen by him. She's never like, even in character, she's been like, is this like a romantic thing? It's like, no, it's definitely not. Like, she doesn't have any romantic feelings for him. It would be a little more evident if she did. Because she's, I mean,
she'd be beating him to death, you see.
yeah, she already did that. But there's a lot of guilt that comes with her relationship with Miriam, which she's like mentioned. It's like because of what happened to him and like the painful transformation, all the shit that he's been through, like about like being a Hattislan and having the echo in his head and this connection to the Star Rubies, and then this horribly painful transformation back into a human. Her mother was deeply involved in that. So when she looks at him, she sees the monstrous acts of her mother. And it's like, they basically put him through torture. They killed him, and then he essentially had to die and, like, melt away and crumble away in order to become who he was meant to be. And it's just a lot of guilt and a lot of confusion. She doesn't give a fuck what he looks like. She's like, I don't care if you're a Hattislan or a human. I don't give a fuck. But are you okay? So she's very worried about his psyche at this point. It's like he can keep playing it off, but there have been a few moments that I've noticed, and I noted them to Carrie, when they were out like shopping for his armor, and Avi got like the rings made. It's like one of the blacksmiths, she was like all over him and like touching like the Deus Yankovic armor. It's like, yes, I want to touch it, please. And Avi like tried to like make a joke, be like, oh, you finally have a woman all over you. And he's like, yeah. Just very like quiet. And I picked up on that. I was like, one, bad timing, Avi. Wow, bitch. And two,
Oh no.
what the fuck was that, buddy? You're not good. Oh, you're not okay. Fuck.
Yeah, in a rough spot.
Yeah, so yeah, that's where Avi's at. Miriam, we love you.
We love you!
We love you
So much.
And for 2 cents a day, you can sponsor Miriam's therapy.
2 copper a day.
2 copper a day.
So excited to cut over to the other camp or the other party, which is full of sad boys contemplating the nature of their own existences.
I can't wait to find out what happens on y'all's side. I'm so excited.
Vogan's just sitting there like, you guys are really sad.
Yeah!
Yeah.
You guys want to, like, meditate over it?
He's like, I don't know what to do
Well,
about that, but
about it.
that you should
Alright.
know.
Thought you should be aware. Well, speaking of making me aware of things, I have a game for you guys.
Oh no.
So I was gonna
The
play
game.
one, but I decided on another from my list. It is called Tell Me Something I Don't Know.
Oh.
So how this
Ooh.
works is
Tell me something.
you're gonna
I
tell
don't
me,
know.
you can ask each other, or me, and I'm gonna make you guys ask each other. You're going to ask someone to in-character character. So for instance, like, Aviana, tell me what happened the first time you learned to fly, etc. Like, something like that. Something, any of that. Or what's your favorite, or tell me, like, your favorite pastime. Things like that. But you can make them spicy, or anything. Just whatever comes to mind, whatever you are interested in somebody else's character.
Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Ooh.
And I'm technically the host, so I'm not gonna start.
Oh, you're mean.
Oh, I'm very mean. I'm doing it on
I hope
purpose.
Frisbee goes first because Frisbee starts with an F and F first. Izzy, go.
Yeah, but Brayden's first in the alphabet.
Right? So,
It's not
a lot of
fair.
different ways we could go here.
My way's the best way.
You're like,
I don't know. I need to
this is
think.
You.
Well, wow, you guys.
Uh,
All right, cool. Well, you think about that. Fenris, I have a question for you.
Okay,
I
hold
can ask
on.
one more question to each of you.
Please hold for 1 second. Tech support will
Okay.
be with you. Okay.
You're not tech support.
I know.
You're not my husband.
Mm. Ooh.
But I could be.
Okay, baby. Hold on, let me get some socks and sandals. Apparently that's what he fucking wears.
Oh no.
I guess that's the crit and wits and crits. Hey, yo!
Oh, damn!
Hey.
The Alexander! I love
Shots
you, baby.
fired.
I don't know if you'll listen to this, baby, but...
Hopefully not.
Fine, I'll start. 'Cause y'all are babies about it. Just being a butthole. No. When you were with your master, what is it? Shurkra? Is that her name?
Yeah, sure, Krakowius.
Yeah, I knew it. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the shush sound. When you were with your master, tell me more about that. What was one of your favorite moments with her? What's something that you learned from her?
Oh, an interesting question. It was an incredibly complicated day today. She would spend most of her time working on various projects, like creating devices or just researching the, what we now know to be the frame built. And I would mostly just make sure that, her negligence of her own well-being did not get to critical levels, making her food and making sure that her clothes were laundered and such. Mostly day-to-day necessities, and when she had time, she would teach me how to the beginnings of artificing, as it were. It was very, very peaceful times. A lot of just keeping one's nose in research and learning new things every day.
Hell yeah.
And scene. Oh,
And scene. Oh, so
I
good.
have one.
Yeah, do
Okay,
it.
cause you were such a good sport about going first,
I got you, baby.
and I feel like I'm gonna throw you for a loop here.
Oh no, let's go though.
Hey Regan,
Yes.
tell me something I don't know. Describe an average day in your forced home with your family. Like what a day in Regan's life, in your life, before you left for adventuring.
Oh, well, oh goodness. It wasn't all that exciting, I guess. Usually it would be helping my mother with my siblings, making sure that my brothers stayed out of trouble. But as I got older and I grew more curious about the world, my father would take me hunting, and I would join him and his hunting party on just finding food, learning to forage. Seeing as he was from the outside world before meeting my mother and coming to the forest, he would teach me little things about the world around us. He would tell me of where he came from before, and while I can turn into creatures, it was always very fascinating learning how to make a precise kill and not spoil the meats or the pelts that we would bring home. And learning to treat pelts and learning to discard the unneeded bits of the creatures. But when I wasn't out hunting, I would be sneaking off into the forest on my own and trying to learn alchemy and trying to use my spores to maybe help people, but usually they're better just for poisons. My mother didn't really approve of that part or even of the hunting, but it made me happy, and maybe someday I'll go back to it. But I think I prefer adventuring to just quiet life in the forest.
Oh, that was so good!
Hey!
Applause, applause,
Adorable.
applause!
I love Regan so much.
God, so much pressure. Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's your turn.
I think I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I'm trying to think of questions Flux would ask Fenris, and there are probably some blunt questions that he would ask.
Those are the best. Like, they
It's
can be
like,
from Flux or from you, so go ahead,
Hey.
baby.
Lay
Yeah,
them
so-
on me.
All right, so I'm gonna go a little tamer than I could be, but I think Flux would still be curious.
Okay.
Hey, Fenris, tell me something I do not know. Of all the gods that exist, why Tequin?
Well, Flux, to be completely frank with you, I didn't have much of an option. I actually was not particularly religious before coming to live here. I took residency at the Temple of Tequin far before I took Tequin to be my god. I sought refuge during the Accords, because once you joined the church, they weren't able to do anything. So I worked at the church for a long time before I began practicing.
Fascinating. And you?
Oh, thanks, Beach. I'm gonna ask you each one more question before we wrap it up.
Oh my god.
So I'm gonna roll a sexy little d4. Yeah. That's that's a
D4.
one, so it's for Bradley Boo.
Ooh.
And I got a question
Me?
for you, Funny Foo Foo. So Fenris, you've been trying to use your divine intervention to free Diather for quite some time. Yet the divine intervention worked for the Proto-DGR. When you asked it to disappear so it wouldn't keep destroying the towers of Pesidromos. How's Fenris feeling about that when it didn't work to help her friend Lexi, but instead kind of helped Lexi, but not in the way that she wanted to?
Fenris kind of feels really terrible about it, to be completely honest. Because, well, yes, obviously, getting rid of the Excalibur, there we go. Getting rid of Excalibur momentarily was so important. And, Fenris, understands that needed to happen. She wanted to, if she could, the fact that she knows that she could have done something to keep Lexi from getting hurt in pursuing Diather hurts Fenris, because Lexi is probably one of the main reasons Fenris even left the church to go adventuring, because she wasn't really doing outside excursions beforehand. She had maybe traveled outside a couple times, and to go to the festivals that the church, does, but she wouldn't have left without Lexi encouraging her and that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like this person that you feel like you owe so much of your life now to is feeling probably the worst pain imaginable. Because Fenris doesn't know what it's like to have a sibling. She can only imagine how painful it is for you to find out that your sibling hates and resents you and wants you dead. especially when you're someone like Lexi who takes those things so personally in the sense of like the incident with the Kitsadri and everything.
Yeah.
She really internalizes that and really takes that on the weight of her shoulders. And for Fenris to take any of that weight off is all she could want in the world. But she couldn't. No matter how many times she tried, she begged and begged and begged. Remembered every single day. Before Fenris decided to focus on this, there are so many sessions where I wouldn't use divine intervention. I don't take a rest without using it until it worked. I didn't take a single rest without using it. Every chance Fenris got, she tried and tried and tried, and she just like a big thing. And it is a big thing. But it's also so frustrating for Fenris. Because she has to watch Lexi go through it. Because that's what the gods have decided.
Do you think that, like, the gods have, like, a greater plan? Like, is Fenris feeling like the gods might have a greater plan for Lexi in this, and there's a reason that they didn't answer? Or is she just kind of frustrated that it didn't work the way she wanted it to?
After the most recent session, I think she has a lot more perspective. Before, she was just very frustrated about it.
Mm-hmm.
But after seeing how Lexi handled the situation and how Diather reacted, I think, to some extent, Fenris understands that there's lessons that can only be taught through difficult circumstances. And I think Lexi just learned a very important lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, unlocked new abilities within herself. And so it's almost like they kind of knew what they were doing. Because, we may not have been able to apprehend Diather, but it didn't seem like he was planning to have a final confrontation. So only time can tell.
Just hoping.
I hope so.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
There's only hoping.
It was good. It was so good.
So painful. Ugh.
God, yeah. It's like, oh, Fanny, you need a hug, baby girl.
Oh, no.
When someone does so much for you, I mean, you want to be able to take some of the brunt of what they're dealing with. Especially when it's like, it's a card. It's not even all him. It's also partly the card we drew. Yeah.
God, good answer, dude. Good freaking answer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Well done.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna roll this sexy little dice here. I got a couple more questions for y'all. That's a 2, so that's for the Frizz boy. So I'm
What you got?
We had one that we already kind of answered earlier, so let's see. That's exactly what I wanted. Perfect. So far in the Cauldron Flux, you've come across a handful of frame built, but they've not quite been as friendly to your allies in the highest standard and their goals. Like, things have been really turbulent when we've met them.
Mm-hmm.
So given the importance of them and the Sword of Damocles, at what point would you believe that some of these frame built are beyond salvation and they're just soldiers following orders? Or do you think that they can all be saved, and do you want to try?
He definitely wants to try. Like, this is, like, probably one of the biggest times when, like, emotion is fully overtaking any kind of logic. Is like, I want to save all of them. And then every time he tries to think of exactly how to do that, he gets frustrated with himself that he can't figure out how. But yeah, I think he's definitely grappling with the fact that it's like, they are just like me. They are sapient beings capable of making their own choices. So, on the one hand, that means that, like, maybe on an individual basis, we could, turn some of them around. But it also means that they're not just being mind controlled by, like, a big machine we can blow up and then everything will be fine. And, like, they have been holding on to this mission for a very long time. It would take a lot to make them change their mind. It's not to say it's impossible, but it's definitely daunting. So he is, I think, especially after, kind of fought those frame built with Avi.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely, it's kind of sinking in, like, I am going to have to fight and kill other frame built. And everything is so confusing, he doesn't feel totally sure that he is in the right to do so. So he feels awful about killing them for fighting for a cause that they feel very strongly about. He's like, I feel like, he feels like a child who has been given an insane amount of responsibility that he does not fully grasp.
Yeah, he's kind of, like, being forced to, like, as old as he technically is, he's kind of being...
For sure. Like, he was feeling okay taking the baby steps that, like, the group was kind of, like, helping him with over time. Like, it felt like it was going at a good pace. But suddenly it's like, let's just crank this up to 11 immediately.
I mean, that's what adventuring will do for you.
It's like going from, all right, so we're going to teach you to cross the street by yourself today, Flux. And then the next day is like, all right, here are the nuclear codes. Which country
Navigator, save
it's all
us.
on you.
Navigator.
Oh my god.
Who will live and who will die?
True as Fluxaman.
It's like, oh my god, I do not have the emotional fucking wherewithal for this.
Oh my god. Yeah. He kind of has been handed the nuclear code with this.
A little bit.
I'm gonna just say, there's stuff we learned on our side that I can't wait to tell you.
Oh, no.
As pertains to Flux. So I'm like, God, I can't wait to tell you those things, because, whoo boy.
I'm so scared.
Yeah, I can't, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
You'll have a great time. It's gonna be so safe for y'all. You'll
It'll be
stand
great.
4 hours. It's
It'll
gonna
be great.
I don't know that I believe you.
What do you got? Is this the tone of
It'll
my
be
voice?
very
Is
great.
my voice not
Great.
inspired?
Yeah, it's just, I know, you just got really high pitched. It doesn't inspire confidence.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sounds fake. You made all that up.
I wish.
Yeah. Oh, buddy.
It's rough out here for a Flux.
Yeah, oh, Fluxifer. Alright.
It's a very cute nickname, by the way. I don't know if I've ever pointed it out.
Yeah!
It just
You
reminds me of
haven't.
Calcifer.
Oh my god, yeah! He's our living wood boy. We've got a living fire
May all
boy.
your bacon burn.
Oh,
Why?
what a great. Now, so we've already gotten art of, like, this is such a sidebar, I guess, and then we'll get back to asking questions before we wrap things up here.
It's your
But
show.
it is my
Take
show.
turns.
I can do what I want. But we have, like, Howl's Moving Castle style art of, like, Avi and Fenris, which is great, by the way, and that outfit definitely inspired, like, outfits. I'm like, no, Avi would totally wear that. She would totally wear a Howl outfit. I mean, she was kind of inspired by, like, Demon Howl or whatever the fuck. Like Bird Howl.
Yeah. I
Also
never made that
very
connection before,
overdramatic.
but
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah, that was where the feather ideas came from. But, like, now, because I've been calling him Fluxifer, I just need, like, a flux head, like, in, like,
Coming out of like
a fire
a boiler.
pit. Yeah, like a
room.
boiler.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
May all your bacon burn. It's great.
Luxifer, that is not a kind thing to say.
Oh, my apologies. I do not like burnt
Bonk.
bacon.
You don't like crispy bacon? How incorrect of you.
Ooh, fair
I
point.
don't want you to get a disease from undercooked meat.
Oh, what a
Well,
perfect
when you
boy.
phrase it like that,
Oh, never mind. I can't say no to you when you say it like that.
this is your heart?
Apparently.
Evidently.
I'll be honest, I have very little idea how I work.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know, ate a star or something something. It burst out of my chest and it was like a metal boy. A wooden metal boy.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know how we got here.
Alright. I'm going to ask 2 more questions, because I guess I'm technically a guest on my own show, which makes me cringe. But anyway, we're going to roll the d4 of truth to see if we're going to ask a general question or an Avi/Regan question, because we don't have any Theo questions, but we did get a Regan. Ooh, it's general! Yay!
Nice.
Alright. Wah!
Ooh.
7. Ooh, I like this question. This is for everyone. When you first created the character, I'm assuming, let's stick with Vestige here, I suppose, or we could,
Sure.
you could also, like, for those of us who have, like, multiple characters, because you could also answer, like, about Raleigh as well, or, like, Regan or Theo / Maxine and Fenris for,
Right.
Miss Brederson.
Yep.
When you first created the character, did you expect them to develop the way that they have? If not, what's been the development that you expected them to go through? Yeah, like, did you expect them to turn out a different way or go down a different path? And where they've been, like, did you expect them to end up where they did? Or has this been kind of an unexpected journey in a lot of ways for your characters?
Oh gosh, it's always an unexpected journey.
For sure.
My characters never do what they're intended to. I've really enjoyed the journey of watching Fenris become more confident,
Mm-hmm.
because I did start very meek, and seeing her change is a lot of fun. With Maxine kind of investigating the emotions behind the wall. I should have expected that would be explored in a Nat 19 game, but
What? Us get emotional? Never.
Crazy.
I didn't expect Maxine to have very many feelings. If any. Well, not if any, but like just picking them apart and seeing what's what.
Well, that's kind of an awesome thing about characters who are so stoic and who seem like they don't have any emotions. Things are usually a lot more turbulent beneath the surface, I've found.
I feel like I can't say that I don't seem like I don't have emotion. On account of being a very emotional person, I think I give
Yeah.
it away more than Maxine would intend I would.
I super get that.
But at the same time, every wall has its cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
How about you, Isboy? About your
Yeah.
your thems and dudes.
I think Flux is fairly close to what I kind of expected, kind of like journey-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think where he differs the most is I initially got really excited about playing that kind of character because I was watching a lot of the Orville, and
Yeah.
I really like Isaac as a character and just like his journey. I love that boy, and like I think because of that, I expected to play Flux a lot more kind of accidentally abrasive more often, and I think did a little bit of that like on occasion, like occasionally like correcting people on like incorrect word choice early on, but
Yeah.
over time I just naturally kind of drifted into like I just want to be really helpful to everybody and make everyone happy.
That doesn't remind me of anyone I know.
Nah.
So,
Not at all.
it's a real stretch character for you, Izzy.
Goddamn. Kick your ass.
from it.
I really, I
Oh,
keep
Roundhouse,
wanting
you.
to try like I want to play like a more like confident, like, you know, character who's not afraid to, you know, not be liked. But it is so hard for me. It is a thing I struggle with. Like, that's
I get
why
that.
Raleigh was so hard. Like I thought like, yeah, I'm gonna be like a villainous kind of double dealer. Like I'm gonna. He's probably gonna like learn lessons over time, but definitely at the start he's gonna be kind of like a shithead who's working against the party in some ways. But then the second I had to face consequences for that, I'm like, oh no, why did I want this? I hate this. No.
I mean,
This feels icky.
here
Go
are
ahead.
at least my personal thoughts to expand on. I feel like when approaching those kind of characters, if you approach it like they're evil or they're up to something that's against the party's general morality, it's hard
Mhm.
to play that against the grain.
For
So
sure.
I feel you. I mean, we've all experienced moments of trying to play abrasive characters. But they have their time and place. And being able to push back on everyone is always good.
For sure. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
don't want to be like a total doormat people pleaser, but yeah, there's definitely I want to find that happy medium where I can
Yeah.
feel comfortable kind of swinging different to different ends of the spectrum there without going full asshole.
Yeah,
I mean,
get
that was one of my favorite things about the conflict between Fenris and Aviana
Mm-hmm.
was getting to play the antagonist for a conflict. In a way. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's sort of
in an
like the
argument.
she was the inciting incident almost,
yeah.
which is interesting. And it just you're saying all that, Izzy, it got me thinking. With everything that we've like learned about Raleigh and stuff like that, and it looked like, who knows, we might end up seeing him again. If you were to step back into
Ugh.
his shoes for like any reason, like I don't no idea what the hell's coming, but like if you were to step it back into being Raleigh, at least for a time, do you think you would be at this point where you are as a role player? Do you think you might be more comfortable stepping back into those shoes, or?
Yeah, like if I were ever to play Raleigh again, I think it would definitely be a little easier this time. Like partially because like I kind of, you know, I've had a few years since then
Yeah.
to kind of get more kind of comfortable with my own emotions and stuff. And also just because Raleigh himself has kind of moved away from that. Like when he left the party, he was very much like so I have some stuff to apologize for. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lied and like stolen the bag and like just been a general nuisance. Also, sorry for all the stuff that the demon did while, you know, possessing my body. I really fucked a lot of shit up. So, yeah, if he came back, I think he would definitely, he's more apologetic. He doesn't want to be a dick. Unless we
just
find
happens
someone who
to be.
really deserves it.
I'd be so curious. Like, especially because I'm like,
Oh!
I've never gotten to
Raleigh!
play with
Come
you.
back!
I've never gotten to play with you as Raleigh. Like, I've only ever known, like, Avi with Flux. So, I'm very curious.
It'd be
I
such a
mean-
different vibe.
Oh my god. Listen,
I-
if we D&D argue, I can't wait.
God, I'm just
But
gonna
look,
cry. You're gonna make me
I
cry.
would never try to make
God,
you
it's
cry.
gonna be like watching a lion and maul a baby in Paula. It's gonna be great.
This is not a skill set I've built up. I'm so conflict averse.
Trials
Now
on
come
fire,
argue
baby.
with us.
Join us. D&D arguments are
Let's
so
argue, the
fun.
three of us. Yeah.
Oh, it's so fun. The whole time Brayden and I were like fighting as Avi and Fenris, we were like texting each other like, you good? You good? Yeah. Oh, yay, this is so fun.
Are you consenting to this? Okay, this
You
is
consent? All right,
consensual.
cool.
bullying. Okay,
Great.
cool. Great. We can keep going.
Hell
Good?
yeah, make
Okay.
sure everybody's comfy.
Yeah, you set
Yeah, tit for
boundaries and
tat.
stuff. And it's like, hey, did I take that too far? Sorry if I did. Cool, I'll pull it back next time. And just like checking in, which is something that I think is important at any table, is like
And
setting
making sure not
boundaries.
to internalize arguments.
Yeah.
Because we both went into it, like, we didn't plan any of the argument.
No.
But I don't know. There's just knowing you have to have that like level of trust with the person, and like knowing where the boundaries are, without
Yeah,
having to
that
talk
makes
about it.
sense.
Being a good
For
scene
sure.
partner, something.
For sure. I am very curious to see how them meeting would go, cuz like if they actually gave each other a chance, I
Yeah.
think they'd see they have a lot in common. But like everything Avi has heard about Raleigh, none of it is flattering.
No.
He sounds like
Fenris
such a problem.
Fenris didn't slander him. She just was honest about him.
Yeah.
That may as well be the same thing.
And whose fault is that?
Raleigh!
Damn, it's Raleigh. Yeah. It's like he might be taller than her, but nah, in the words of Vogan, little man. Avi's a little beefcake bird. She could yeet him into the sun.
I want Fenris and Raleigh to reunite really badly.
Yeah.
That's all we'll say on that.
Their friendship was very cute. It was like
Mm.
it was getting to like siblings. I enjoyed it.
I'm so curious how
Mm-hmm.
the party dynamic. Damn, Brayden.
I
That's
heard
such a
that.
like sipping tea, like okay.
Listen.
Tea. I'm holding my cup.
Fenris looks forward to seeing Raleigh again and resents not writing him.
Aww. In fairness, he's only been gone like a month.
She's still upset she hasn't written him.
Aww.
Aww. That's very sweet. I think. I don't know if Raleigh has thought about writing back. I don't think he has, because right now he probably is in kind of a they don't want to hear from me, like,
Aw.
kind of space. I
Dear
get that.
Raleigh, I would like to hear from you. Love Fenris.
Well,
Fucking
that could
write
mean
me.
anything. She's probably just
It has
saying
been
that
a
to be
month.
nice.
You up? No.
Oh damn.
Sending
No,
letters
that'd be
like
to
their
taunt ya.
text messages.
Hey Raleigh. Quintus is dating Lexi. How do you feel about that?
It's just like 3 pages of ah.
Just A over and over, written in different kinds of cursive.
Yeah.
I didn't
Like-
even know they came up with that font on Sending Stones.
Oh, they got it
That
from
must be a new upgrade.
Duffont.
Oh my god.
Whatever
yeah.
I need
fuck.
to download that one. I need to install
Yeah,
that
we
one.
we need need upgrades for our sending stones.
I have to upgrade my package.
We gotta upgrade from the platinum plan to the diamond plan or whatever the fuck.
Ugh,
Isn't platinum above diamond? These are so confusing.
I don't know.
they always are. That's why they charge more.
These things. We have the Summergrass platinum plan for our people.
You don't want to know how many hours those two have put on their Sending Stones.
Oh yeah, no, they have racked up the minutes.
Oh, if it was all-time phone
Oh my
plans.
god. That hurt me.
Ouch.
That just
Yep.
Oh. Anyway, on that note, speaking of hurting, alright, let's see. We're gonna ask one more question.
Oh no.
Oh boy, it's me. Speaking of ow. That wasn't even intentional. I just looked at my D4. It's like 3. I'm like, fuck. Okay. I did that
Izzy
one.
should ask you
so-
this one.
Okay.
Sure.
You
I
know what,
asked you
Izzy? I'm gonna paste these in the wits and crits, and you can choose which one of these to ask.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay.
he gets to choose?
I get to pick your poison. Let's see here. There's a typo there.
Yeah, some of these I just threw over, and I was like, well, figure it out.
I feel like for your edification, Izzy,
Uh-huh.
you should know Regan and her girlfriend just had a huge fight, and that's the context for the second question.
It wasn't even like
Okay,
a fight. It was
proceed.
there was a lot more to it. And I'll
Oh, yeah,
elaborate
yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That one then.
You're like, I'm the people. I want to know.
Yes.
Give me the tea. All right, Moon Boy, let me give it to you.
Regan, with everything that happened in Prince's last session, when the knife was twisted, what is the plan moving forward between you and Ajisai? Do you feel the need to atone for what transpired when you were possessed? Or do you feel like, since that wasn't you, the apology... Since it wasn't you, was enough?
Last game was so fun. So, you know, we were talking about madness early.
Yeah.
So, we, in Princes of the Apocalypse, when we were down apocalypsing as we do, Regan, like, reached out mentally. I think this is how it happened. It's been a minute. I'm sorry, Aaron, if I don't remember perfectly. I'm sorry.
We love you, Aaron.
We love you, Erin. Mwah.
Mwah.
So basically, Regan reached out using, like, speak with plants to these vines that were, like, blocking the doorway, and she heard this, like, scream in her head. Like, this, like, inhuman scream, and she was given a madness from it, basically. It was a new flaw on her sheet, and it was essentially, like, I can't let people, take what's mine. So, Regan is usually a very giving and loving person. Like, she cares more about, like, she cares more about, like, everyone else, like, more than herself, and she just wants to help, and she just cares. She is mom friend to the extreme. Like, to Krusk's character, she's such a mom, to the point where he's started calling her mother.
Oh, that's...
And it's
that's
really,
weird.
it's so funny. It's so fucking
Bizarre.
funny.
Bizarro. I love it.
Yeah, she calls her dad, Grand. But, so basically, Regan had this madness where it's just like, hey, don't let people take what's yours. And so Regan, the episode prior to this, she had bought a bunch of potions, and she'd given a potion of climbing to Ajisai. And when she did, because that went against her madness, because I wasn't thinking, that went against her madness, she, like, had this vision of, like, falling through the floor, and this fucking, like, demon with, like, tentacles for fingers, like, saying, like, don't let them take what's yours. And, like, when she said it, like, in Aaron's words, the words tasted, like, saccharine sweet. Like, they felt right in her mouth. So, the last session, Regan got up before Ajisai. She stole back the potion of climbing, wild-shaped into a bird, and flew away, because when you wild-shape, you can choose to have all your stuff, like, merge in with you.
Yeah.
So, and she was later, they essentially tricked Regan into coming back by being like, having Krusk send her a message and be like, hey, I'm gonna do dangerous shit. You should come see me, because I promised that you would be there if I do dangerous things. So she goes back to the Obsidian Halls where we're staying, and she has a conversation with Ajisai, and Ajisai's like, I can't remember exactly what she said, but the twist of the knife was,
I'm so glad you always understand. That's what I love about you.
Oh, it was when
yeah.
It was when
God.
Ajisai, so Regan had given Ajisai this bow. And
Yeah.
Ajisai was like, if you feel like these things belong with you, then I guess this bow belongs with you as well. And it was kind of like Ajisai seeing if it would happen, and then Regan just, like, took it. Couldn't help herself.
It's like,
I'm glad you understand. That's what I love about
about you, and it's like, ugh!
Oh,
And having to, like, it hurt. Because
I love making hard choices is the best.
it's so fun. It's so fun. So basically, after that's the
Right.
knife being twisted. So all that to say, what's the plan moving forward with Ajisai? I think Regan is going and just be more aware. So I think she's feeling a lot more cautious. Usually does. And because her powers, because she's a Circle of Spores druid, they're very necromantic.
yeah.
Which is sick, and I love playing with that with this such sweet, loving character who has these, like, destructive powers. Like, these toxic powers, and it's great. Toxic love, am I right?
Ow!
So
Hey,
I think
yo.
she does feel like she has to atone a little bit. What that's gonna look like, I don't know. I haven't really put much thought into it. I'm just gonna let the moment take me. But I think with Ajisai, she feels like things ended in a good spot because of how Ajisai like explained how she was feeling. Where it's not so much that like Regan was hurting her; it was more hurting that she couldn't do anything to help Regan, the way that like Regan was able to help her when she was still a revenant. Like when Ajisai was still a revenant, which was so good, tasty. But so I think she more needs to atone like to her friends and to Kyra and stuff like that. But outside of that, she's gonna be struggling a little bit for a while.
While this was happening, Maxine was knitting.
Yeah, it's great.
She's totally oblivious to the situation, just in her own little world.
Yep.
Nice. Is this a thing that is like since worn off, or is this like a forever thing?
It's since worn off. So they managed to get Regan to go up to, I think it was like in Krusk's room. They like had their own diamond dust. Like I think Kyra went to this like shady jewelry salesman and had him powder one of her diamonds. And then it was like, hey, this is mine. This isn't your diamond dust. If we use ours, can he perform the ritual just to remove this, just to see if something is wrong? So she's like, fine, because it's not mine, I guess. And she let it happen. And so it has been removed. And that's when she like burst into tears and like ran off to go find Ajisai, and because they're both Aasimar, she flew up to the roof. She's like, girlfriend, please, I'm so sorry.
I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, real sad.
I was cray.
I'm sorry, I was crazy.
But I'm better now.
Baby, I'm better. I can change. I did change.
You see
You
that right?
exercised. It's great.
I got exorcismed, and then Maxine drew a sword. It was a good time.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
and then I
good.
got like electrocuted by my god a little bit.
it was
Be like,
great.
No, don't fight the infinite.
like, you're not
creature. It was
ready
a whole
yet.
time.
But soon. And oh, it was badass. It was so badass.
I love D&D.
Oh, me
Yep.
too. All right. Well,
D&D is a beautiful thing.
it is so beautiful. I love it. I love D&D. I love playing with you guys so much.
I
Same.
love playing with you guys too.
I'm very honored. And thank you guys for being on the first episode of my show. That is about all the time we have. Unless you guys have any questions for each other or for me, and then we will wrap up. But if not, we'll wrap this little baby up and you guys can promote yourselves, because I'm going to make you talk about yourselves.
Tough. I think I'm okay. I'll probably think of
Yeah.
something in like 10 minutes and then kick
That's
myself,
fine.
but-
Yeah.
You know how it
And then
goes.
then next time in a bagillion years, we'll ask each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, well, on that super smexy note, thank you guys again for joining me, and thank you guys so much for watching. Where can people find you? Tell me about yourselves. Where can people find you? Brayden? Promote yourself.
All right. You can
Do it.
find me on Instagram. Wow, not Instagram. Instagram at the Braden Alexander. You can find me on Twitter at @B_Alexander. And you can find me on YouTube under Brett Brederson. And yeah, I think that's all my socials.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to promote, or are you like, I'm Gucci Goo, I'm super cute, look at me, I'm Brayden?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, that's not. I heard that. That's all I got. Frisbee, go. Promote yourself.
Oh, no. Oh, I've never. Okay. So we got our bridging stuff. That's on the YouTube. You can look that up. We do Sword Art Online Abridged and My Hero. And then we also got our more gaming stuff. We got Something Witty Games. YouTube is where we do our stream. That's where we put the VODs. But yeah, if you check us out, Something Witty Gaming on Twitch, with Swee and D, it's a good time. We're getting near the end of one of our second campaign, and it's getting stuff's happening, wheels are turning, and yeah.
So we've heard. My God.
We'll be starting up our third campaign eventually. It keeps seeming like it's right on the horizon, but then, you know, games take way longer than they seem.
And
But
then you
I'm
moon
very
yourself.
excited. I did. I
You
did
did.
moon myself. Yeah, this
You
is a weird
Ian'd
pattern.
again.
I didn't mean
You gotta
to.
stop Ian'ing out.
The opportunity was there. My hands were tied.
You're like, I
Allegedly.
had to. You know, they
It's like I wasn't
say
gonna not moon myself.
twice is a coincidence. Nah, for you, it's a pattern already.
Yeah, this is too specific.
It's too
to be a coincidence.
specific.
I'm waiting for that third one. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna jump on it.
It's like I said last night. I'm waiting for it with Flux.
Yeah.
Don't you dare, Izzy. I will beat you up. I, as Fenris, will beat you up.
We come back together. It's like, oh no, Flux is gone. He flew into Lycrothemia. It's like he flew into the moon. Is he?
What?
Look, the opportunity was there. I don't know what you want from me.
Become as moon.
Yes, as I was always meant to be. We also have a TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, check us out. I think that's
It's
just
very
Something
funny.
Witty Entertainment or SWE.
I'm sure
Something like that.
if you look up something witty on TikTok, I'm sure you'll find it. They're not exactly unknowns.
Yeah, you'll find something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess as for me, as we wrap this up, you can find me on Twitter at HeyBale. I'm on Twitch as Scylla Aria. Instagram is also HeyBale Voice, and I guess Threads ? I don't go on there. I just have it as a backup in case things explode. And, you know, whatever. But most of the time, you can find me over here on Nat19. I stream with Braden episodes. Information
merch.
about the characters, and most importantly, we have merch. We have keychains, we have custom dice, we have miniatures of all kinds. So go ahead, go to nat19show.com, and thank you guys so much for watching. And make sure to follow our wonderful show artist, Kiyoshuki, over on Twitter. Her links will be below. And we will see you guys next time for Wits and Crits, and I'm trying to remember who we have next. I do believe, I could be lying to you right now. It is Aaron. Oh no, I'm lying to you already. It is Cody and Carrie.
Nice.
I caught
and
it. Cody and Carrie.
They're
So
very fun.
CC.
they're very fun. I'm so excited for that chaos, and I don't have to answer
Fancy.
any questions next time.
Oh, not Sancy. Yes.
All right, you wonderful teenies. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Adios.
Bye.